Introduction to Azure Synapse Ingestion from Kafka. Azure Synapse is a cloud-based analytics service that brings together enterprise data warehousing and big data analytics into one service. It allows you to ingest data from various sources including Apache Kafka. In this tutorial, we will walk through the process of ingesting data from Kafka into Azure Synapse. Step 1. Setting up Kafka. To start ingesting data from Kafka, you need to have a Kafka cluster set up. You can use a managed Kafka service like Azure Kafka or set up your own Kafka cluster on Azure virtual machines or on premises. Once you have your Kafka cluster set up, you need to create a Kafka topic to send data to. Step 2. Creating an Azure Synapse workspace. Next, you need to create an Azure Synapse workspace, which is the core component of Azure Synapse. It provides a unified workspace for data integration, data warehousing, and big data analytics. You can create a new Azure Synapse workspace from the Azure portal or using Azure CLI. Step 3. Creating a linked service. To connect to your Kafka cluster from Azure Synapse, you need to create a linked service. A linked service is a connection to an external data source, in this case Kafka. You need to provide the Kafka Bootstrap server URL and the topic name you want to ingest data from. Step 4. Creating a dataset. Once you have created the linked service, you need to create a dataset. A dataset represents the data structure of the data you want to ingest from Kafka. You need to specify the data format such as Avro or JSON and the schema of the data. Step 5. Creating a pipeline. Now you can create a pipeline to ingest data from Kafka into Azure Synapse. A pipeline is a series of activities that extracts data from a source and loads it into a destination. In this case, the source is Kafka and the destination is Azure Synapse. You can use the copy data activity to ingest data from Kafka. Step 6. Monitoring and troubleshooting. After you have created the pipeline, you can monitor the ingestion process and troubleshoot any issues that may arise. You can use the Azure Synapse monitoring and debugging tools to check the status of the pipeline and identify any errors. Best practices. When ingesting data from Kafka into Azure Synapse, make sure to handle schema drift and data quality issues. You should also implement data validation and data cleansing to ensure that the data is accurate and consistent. It is also important to monitor the performance of the pipeline and optimize it as needed. Conclusion. Ingesting data from Kafka into Azure Synapse is a straightforward process that requires setting up a Kafka cluster, creating an Azure Synapse workspace, and creating a linked service dataset and pipeline. By following these steps and best practices, you can easily ingest data from Kafka into Azure Synapse and start analyzing and visualizing your data in no time.